Hey guys, welcome to Refined Savage. Today we're going to be talking weight throwing. So the weight throw is one of the more technical events in Highland Games. We're going to do a lot with the 56 and a little bit with the 28. Try to give you some techniques and some tips on how to get better at these events. So we start out with a warm-up, and I usually start off with just slings, just like a standing throw with the 42. I'm throwing the 42. You guys will be throwing the 56, some of you. But just nice standing throws. I'm thinking about getting a nice long cast and turning my hip through. Now you'll notice in these videos that my right ankle doesn't work as well as it used to. I've had some injuries with that ankle. So I've been trying to work on getting that right foot to turn better with the weights. It's a lot easier with the lightweight and the stones, but I'm working it. So now we go into one turns with the heavyweight. So just try to get the feel of getting that weight up and moving and getting my hips turned as I land and lifting. So I kind of sling this out, try to get a nice big lift, and then drive through. You'll notice my weight sling into that first turn is a little higher than most people. I think that's important for guys who are on the shorter side. If you are, a tall thrower like a Dan McKim or Sean Betts, you can get away with a little bit lower sling into the throw. But I like to get a little up and down motion, especially in that first one. It also keep me grounded and in the right space to give me a lot more room to drive into the toe board into the second one. So again, just working on some nice one turns here, thinking about letting that weight go behind me as far as possible and letting the weight just kind of start the movement. So now we get into the two turn. We started nice and slow here. Just working on some stuff. I've got a competition towards the end of June, so I'm just kind of working on some things. Start with the nice, easy, steady swing, letting the weight go as far back as possible, and then coming through. So as I let that weight go back as far as possible, I'm thinking about letting the weight do its job and then turning my hand over so I'm actually able to use the weight in the next transition. We don't want that weight with an overhand sling as you come out of the back. Open that hand up, put your palm towards the direction you're going to throw. So again, here's a close-up of my feet. My feet will try to replace in the back and then drive into the middle, okay? So replace the feet in the back as you come through on the first one, and then drive the hips into the second one. So I bring it through, and then I try to drive my hips towards the direction I want to throw. That's the most important part of the throw, in my opinion. Most people you'll see will do two spins. It's not two spins. You use the first spin kind of as a wind in the hammer. So you're setting yourself up so that you have some momentum. Once those feet land in the same position in the back at that same spot, then you have that huge shift with your hips towards the front. So you think about sprinting, about pushing off your right leg, getting your hips across the ring. All right, so one of the things I've been really working hard on is trying to keep feet on the ground longer. So the only time you are putting pressure on the ball or the weight is when your feet are on the ground. This goes for your hammer or for your weight throws and your stone puts. So if your feet are off the ground, you're not putting pressure on the weight. So right now I've been thinking about keeping those feet on the ground and grinding as long as possible. And a lot of times when you'll hit that drive into the second turn, sometimes you'll come off the ground a little bit. So you want to think about staying low and not fighting the weight. So really think about when you're driving into that second turn. A lot of people will think about this as two spins, and I see this all the time. It's not two spins. You're doing one spin that's a setup, almost like the hammer throw, okay? It's a spin to get some momentum into the ball. Then once you land with your feet in that similar position in the back, it's a huge drive with your hips to the middle of the circle or the middle of the throwing area. So it's one wind, land in the back, and then drive your hips in the directions you want to throw. It's the most important part of this. Land in the back, get your feet down quick, be patient. When the ball hits your side of your foot, you're thinking about pushing off your right leg and driving towards the front of the throwing area. Most important part, and it's the thing that's going to make those weights start to really go. Okay, think linear. So we're going to get into the lightweight a little bit. I didn't take too many throws with the lightweight because basically I've just done the same technique over and over again with the heavyweight. So the lightweight for me, I don't train it that often, but I try to think about all the same things. A good setup in the back, a huge sprint to the middle, and then just be a little bit quicker. One of the mistakes people make with this is they come too fast out of the back, okay? Once you come too fast out of the back, you have nowhere to accelerate. So you want to think about nice, steady turn out of the back, and then again, that huge drive to the middle on the second one, and really go after it. But set it up perfectly in the back and make sure your feet land exactly where you want them to land. Then you can hit that big drive. Again, in the back, you're letting that weight just kind of go back as far as it's going to go. Don't fight it. Let the weight drop as far back as it's going to go. Turn the hand over and then come out of that back. Make sure you're replacing the feet, trying to put the right foot right where the left foot was, and then a big drive with your hips towards the middle. So that's it. That's the weight throws in a nutshell. It's one of the more technical events in track or in Highland Games. It's really something that is going to take a long time and a lot of practice. And depending on if you come out of a track and field background or not, that might be it might help your learning curve a little bit. But you really want to think about getting a lot of throws in and a lot of practice and a lot of drilling. So that's the weight throws. What's coming up next will probably be a hammer video. We're going to be doing some work with the hammer, and we'll be showing that on one of these upcoming clips. So go out there and throw far, guys. See ya.